What's going on? How are you guys this evening? We're gonna do carnivore diet. I guess general Q&A today. I was thinking about doing just an ask me anything or whatever, but most of the time these end up being related to nutrition, carnivore diet, keto diet, all of that stuff. Uh, Nothing too exciting today. Went down to Manhattan earlier for an appointment. I didn't sleep too well last night. I actually only think I slept 3 or 4 hours. So then I drove down to Manhattan this morning, was in the city a couple hours, and I'm just like, I'm really, I'm not actually feeling that exhausted today. It's just my stomach's a bit iffy because of all the traveling, and I only had one large meal earlier, and I wasn't hydrating properly. I was actually getting cramps in my legs because I wasn't drinking enough water. Diet-wise, been mostly just steak, experimenting with some raw honey here and there. Might start doing some other plant foods here and there. I've been messing around a little bit performance wise, but as I said, guys, originally the reason I started the carnivore diet was because I don't digest plant foods uh, ever since I took Accutane, and I still don't digest plant foods ever since I took Accutane. So it's looking like only steak permanently, but that's why I've kind of learned so much on the carnivore diet through my self experiments and through just the sheer amount of time being on it, and of course just making consistent videos every day. But how are you guys today? Hopefully some of you Europeans are tuning in. I know it's a little late. Placed the meat order on Sunday. Haven't gotten a confirmation on shipping. We're gonna ship everything out by tomorrow this week, guys. Did you check out another farm? Honestly, guys, the farm is probably not gonna happen until next year. Hopefully my businesses do well this year and I save up enough money to do it myself next year. But right now I just don't have the money. I need at least a few $100,000 and I don't have it. Otherwise I would do it. So I'm going to have to save up some money this year and hopefully next year I can do it the right way. We need like 200-300 for the plot. Well, not that much. Maybe like 150, 200, maybe just 150 for the plot, 100-200 acres somewhere near New York near me. Maybe another 150, 200,000 for the house. I'm not building a typical 2-story house. I'm gonna build like one story house that's completely grounded, and I'm gonna have maybe like a warehouse for storage and stuff. It's gonna be like a house to live in, and then there's gonna be some barns and some facilities on the farm for the chickens and the dairy and stuff. But I'm speculating I need to save up several $100,000, and then maybe I can take out a bank loan for $1 million or something when I want to actually get the farm up and running. But I think I'm going to do that. Dr. Berg is now copying. It's tough, man, because I was going to make a video about how Dr. Berg and Ken Berry copied me last week, but I posted it on my community page, and people were like, oh, suck it up. It's not your information. I'm like, okay, then I won't make whiteboard videos anymore. If you guys are going to defend other YouTubers for stealing my information, I'm just not going to make whiteboard videos anymore because I don't know what to do. I spend hours and hours researching, and someone makes a video with half the information from my video in their video, and then I complain about it to my viewers, and they're like, oh, who cares? I fucking care. Okay, so I'm just not going to do educational videos anymore. Fine, I don't care. Like, I'm not killing myself, and then someone with 5 million followers makes, so much money off of it, and I'm sitting here killing myself. I can't even afford to move out of my apartment. If you need to support the farm, let's start a Kickstarter or GoFundMe or something. Can't use Kickstarter or GoFundMe. They are run by corporate shills. That's why Frankie's Free Range Meat was taken down on Kickstarter. We have to do an independent website. And even then, we almost got taken down, again, through the independent website. Because someone actually contacted WordPress and told them we were scamming people. Like, it's ridiculous. Can you talk about more what you mean by grounded? I have a video on grounding on my channel that you should check out. But if you guys, want me to answer a question extensively, or I missed your question, or the chat's going really fast, you guys can just, drop a super chat, drop a PayPal donation. The link should be down below, and I'll definitely get to your question. Frankie, can we all be your wives and live on the farm with you? Dylan, just send an email to info@frankiesfreerangemeat.com. How often do you get a blood test done? Now that I can, whenever I feel like driving to Connecticut, because I have to drive to Connecticut to get my blood work done because I don't have health insurance and it's illegal to buy blood work online in New York. So I have to pay. I actually have about $100 worth of blood work I have to get done I just don't feel like driving over to Connecticut in the morning. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow or Thursday. I try to get I get like different markers tested. Open a PayPal account for farm donations. I mean, what am I going to get? A few $1,000? What am I going to do with that? Like, honestly, I have to be a legitimate, like, I have to be a pretty successful business person to be able to make enough money for a farm. And getting, if every single one, if how many people are going to donate, if I would have to get 20,000 people to donate $10 each, that's never going to happen. I would never get enough money for a farm. For my SIBO, you said to take antimicrobials, then have a meal of raw yogurt. Been doing this for the last 2 weeks, and the yogurt gives me diarrhea every time. Should I take a spore-based probiotic instead? I mean, the antimicrobials are probably giving you the diarrhea. And, Brett, I mean, I can't really, doing an antimicrobial protocol and then consuming probiotics, it's a very difficult thing to monitor. You can't just, you might be taking too many antimicrobials.
Sometimes when I pick some snot out of my nose, blood will come out.
Answer that in a second. SIBO protocol is very iffy. Are you taking the right antimicrobials? Are you taking the right amount? Is there other factors at play? Are you taking prokinetics? There's too many factors for that, Brett. I mean, I can say you're not doing it correctly, but to what extent, it's hard to say. Yeah. So if you have some type of if you're different nutrient imbalances and toxicity can cause issues. Vitamin A, vitamin D imbalance. Usually can cause nosebleeds. I mean, nosebleeds are usually some type of hypervitaminosis. So I would try to balance things in your diet. Frankie, can I be your cow and get milked daily? Answer my question. I sent a super chat. I don't see your super chat, Nathan. So Frank, why do you have to buy something vacant? Are you willing to partner with a homesteader who already has a running farm and wants to expand? Because I can't find someone that wants to expand. And even if I could find someone
Frank,
that wants...
I recently started keto 20 days ago and currently eat 3 meals a day, which consist of 6 eggs, cheese, avocado, broccoli, and 30 ounces of ribeye a day. Comes out to 2,200 calories. What should I add for more nutrients, and should I take some things out?
What you guys have to understand about finding another farm to do the operation, never partner, and this is just general business advice, never partner with someone else if you want to do things your own. Like, never, you should never partner with someone else. That can always cause issues. They don't like how you're doing things. You don't like how they're doing things. They want more money. You can't partner with someone. That's not feasible. I'm sorry, guys. 6 eggs, cheese, avocado, broccoli, 30 ounces of ribeye, 2,200 calories. What should I add for more nutrients? Joseph, I just came out with a carnivore meal plan today in my video earlier. You should definitely check that out. That's an excellent resource. The video I published earlier today, Carnivore Diet Meal Plan. You sign up for
My hair is rapidly thinning every week. Been carnivore for 6 months. Started a few months ago.
So definitely sign up for my newsletter on frank-tufano.com and you'll get sent Carnivore Diet Meal Plan. And that meal plan will go over the tier lists. If you guys want to check out my book, The Ancestral Indigenous Diet, that's my dietary beliefs a little bit expanded. My carnivore diet course is kind of like a nice 1-hour introduction to the carnivore diet. And if you do want in-depth specific health information, you can reach out to me one-on-one for a consultation via my email or my website. But off the top of my head, Joseph, if you're eating raw cheese and ribeye, you might want to get some omega-3s in there. You might want to consume some just more high-quality, nutrient-dense fat. Get some more K2, more seafood, definitely. That'll help for the minerals. That'll help for the omegas. Just get things a little more balanced. Mr. Tech, my hair is rapidly thinning every week. Been carnivore for 6 months. Started a few months ago. I would immediately start supplementing copper, K2, D3 probably, and I would. Well, I'm gonna come out with a hair. What format do you guys think I should do my hair loss guide in? I could do like a 15-20 minute video. I could do a short little, like maybe 5 or 10 page PDF, or I could do a or I could maybe try to do something more. Those are probably the only 2 options. But I would sell it. That's not going to be free. It would basically be my understanding of what causes hair loss and how to prevent it.
Frankie, what is healthiest way to cook eggs? How bad is scrambling regarding oxidation?
The problem with eggs in general is and this is why I want to start my farm ASAP, because no one has good eggs, and I don't really even eat eggs anymore because of that. They really wanted to get the farm up and running this year to do that, but one year without eggs isn't going to kill me. So, the problem is the oxidation of omega-6. So, when you consume eggs that have a high omega-6 to omega-3 ratio, which is all eggs essentially, regardless of whether they're pasture raised or not, it's just lesser of evils if they're higher quality now. And you should consume them raw. You're not going to have too many digestive issues. It should be okay. Your body can kind of deal with it. But if you cook the eggs and they're high omega-6 imbalance, then you might start having some oxidation issues with the omega-6. You really have to see how you stomach it, because that's gonna answer your question. How well does it digest? Are you farting? Do you feel sick? How do you feel after you eat it? I'm signing on as the first wife, Frankie. So why do you have to buy something vacant? Because there's no plots that have buildings on them. There's no like 100 acre, 200 acre pasture land plots that have a house or barns on them. How come the Iberico pork you sell is fed corn and wheat? The Iberico di Bellotto we sell gets no pork or wheat. It's pasture raised. We do sell some Iberico, which is a different grade, which does get some forage supplemented in its feed. I'd have to get the specifics on that, but it's still the highest quality pork that I know that I know we have in the United States that I've seen. Isn't nosebleed a lack of vitamin K? Yeah, well, that's what I kind of meant. So if your vitamin A and vitamin D are too high, you're probably lacking vitamin K. So is a K2 supplement going to help that? You probably need to supplement K2 and reduce vitamin A and D. How fast should I feel good to heal after donating blood? Iron overload might not be the issue. It could be other things too. Iron overload sometimes manifests itself as a result of other things. Do you think all of our organs are deformed to some extent due to inadequate nutrition in the womb? Most people don't get enough nutrition for their organs and their torso to develop properly, so they're just not fully developed. Like my lungs and my whole upper torso, for instance, my lung capacity is so small. Like I've never.
Your thoughts on raw milk?
Like even since I've been a kid, I've always had a hard time breathing and catching my breath and running. Is canned salmon roe and glass at Whole Foods worth it if you have no other options? We sell salmon roe on Frankie's Free Range Meat probably for a similar price, if not cheaper than Whole Foods. I have a Mini Eater. I have a 45-minute video on raw dairy I think it's titled Dairy Pros and Cons, that you should definitely watch if you haven't. And that being said, that 45-minute video that I made, I think is the most extensive information on raw milk that's accessible that I've ever seen anywhere. In general, all dairy products in general.
I did consume lots of vitamin A without D, K2. How much vitamin K2 and copper should I take daily, and how long can it take for my hair to grow back and become thicker again?
K2 MK4 is really variable. You know, there are studies where they take up to 45 milligrams, but an average dose from food is only like 1 milligram. Copper, anywhere from 2 to 6 milligrams, depending on how imbalanced your mineral analysis is. But just supplementing that for 2-3 months, you should start noticing differences in things returning. So dairy in general has all of the nutrients your body needs, with the exception of large amounts of iron and preformed omega-3s. So you're getting a lot of fat-soluble vitamins in dairy, and depending on how the dairy is made, whether it's cream, butter, cheese, milk, whatever it is, it's either more geared towards fat or protein. And that'll dictate how many water-soluble vitamins there are. So obviously milk has more B vitamins than cream or butter, whereas cream or butter is going to have more fat-soluble vitamins because it's more fat-based. Fermented product like cheese or kefir or yogurt is going to have different probiotic, different more vitamin K2. Just overall, the nutrient benefits of dairy are very wide, And that's the nice thing about, high quality raw summer dairy is one of the most nutritious foods. And not only that, it's essential for rebuilding the gut and healing the gut in the case of a natural probiotic in the form of like kefir or yogurt, which is incredibly helpful. That being said, it's hard to access for a lot of people. And dairy can exacerbate a lot of underlying issues in people, such as, most people do get enough vitamin A in their diet. So if you're not getting enough vitamin D and K2, you might have issues with dairy. If you have iron overload in your liver, milk has a perfect combination of vitamins to mobilize iron out of your liver. So you might start feeling really crappy. You might be the type of person that can't really tolerate large amounts of calcium. And milk protein from cattle is not really digested too easily compared to, the particles are much larger than goat or sheep milk. So you could try those as well. There's something really interesting that I don't really want to mention because someone else is probably going to steal the information. So I won't mention it, but there's a bacteria that some people have in their digestive system and some people don't, that originated in a type of raw dairy product from a specific animal, and it can actually exacerbate issues in people if they have a compromised gut microbiome. So normally, people won't get sick. People don't get, you're not supposed to get sick from raw milk. It's straight from the animal. It's high quality nutrition. But the natural bacteria in raw milk, some of them can become opportunistic if your gut microbiome is not correct. I'll talk about that maybe in the future. Why are you banned on the carnivore Reddit? Because I exposed everyone for being a shill, and I exposed the carnivore diet as a movement being pushed by
I've
big
been
agri
playing
to sell
football,
estrogenic meat.
soccer for 7 years. Is this considered an unhealthy, stressful sport?
No, but what determines a stressful lifestyle is the other factors: the diet, the sleep, the exposure to magnetic fields. There's many factors determining a healthy lifestyle. You could work 14 hours a day, a physical manual labor job, and live to 100 if everything else was good in the diet. I'm going to be doing a few videos over the next maybe month or two that are going to kind of, if those videos don't nail the cross in the carnivores, then I don't know what will. It's just no one supporting me, the vegan, and this is what shows you that they're all special interest shills is, one, none of the vegans care. That's what's crazy about it. You would think the vegans would jump on any bandwagon to discredit carnivores. And number two is, none of the carnivores are taking my side. You would think at least one person would take my side, right? It doesn't make sense. How come no one is taking Frank's side? The largest carnivore on YouTube, the person who's helped the most people, the one who, without a doubt, has the most knowledge pertaining to the carnivore diet in all aspects. That's unquestionable. Not one person took my side. Not one person. How crazy is that? I can't get over it. Isn't it crazy? I can't get over those two things. One, vegans don't care that I'm exposing the carnivores. Like, I've done more work to take down the carnivore agenda than anyone else. And two, that none of them took my side. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. They're all shills, guys. Listen, you might hear what they're saying, but they're all shills. They are being paid to be in that position. I know some of you guys don't know about secret societies, but all of these guys are Freemasons. They control. They're part of the elite. They control the food supply. They live very privileged lives. They're in control of everything. It's why they're ignoring me, because I'm not part of their little club.
Frank, my brother's wife will not take red meat but wants to get pregnant. What animal foods should she consume to help pregnancy?
Wild caught fish from, like Alaska is great. High quality pasture raised eggs, high quality dairy products. Just on those three, you can do really well. I have a video, Porch Turds, on pregnancy as well as breastfeeding. My pregnancy video isn't in that much of an approachable format because I don't have a whiteboard and I didn't use too many images, but I do have a video on pregnancy and I do have a video on breastfeeding that you should definitely watch. I might have a third older video on pregnancy too. I might have a couple different ones, but definitely search breastfeeding and pregnancy on my channel. If I had to give you a rough estimation of nutrient consumption on a weekly basis, I would say about 1 pound of raw cheese, maybe 2 to 3 pounds of wild caught fatty fish, maybe a dozen pasture raised eggs, You know,
Best way to get vitamin D and how much daily?
uh, maybe like a pound, a pound and a half of high quality meat every day, and then hopefully like a quarter to half a pound of high quality fat. And most importantly for your brother's wife, vitamin D and vitamin K2 incredibly important. A pregnant woman can follow the most nutrient dense diet there is. If she's not getting sun and she's not consuming quality fermented foods, or her gut bacteria isn't properly producing vitamin K2, your baby isn't going to have optimal skeletal development. Best way to get vitamin D and how much daily? As with all of these other questions, I have a video on that. The problem with vitamin D is, one is the time of the year. If it's not a certain time of the year, the UVB index isn't going to be high enough. You're not going to be able to tan. You know, in the northern hemisphere where most of us are living, it needs to be late spring, summer, late summer for it to be worth your time to be out in the sun. If you are on the equator or a place where it's always sunny all the time, then I mean you probably don't have to answer that. You probably don't have to ask that question. But then, even if you are in an ideal hemisphere at the right time of the year, then the time of the day when the UVB percentage peaks is necessary. So you want to tan whenever the UV index is at the highest, and that's where you're going to have the highest percentage of UVB from the sun, and that's where you're going to get the most vitamin D. But you have to get like 10, 15, 20 hours, maybe even more of sun per week, depending on your skin tone, depending on your ethnicity, and that's like full body naked tanning. That's why vitamin D is one of the supplements I do recommend to people, but you have to be careful with the dosage. The other thing to keep in mind is if you're like, you know, if you're an Irish person and you live in Australia, you might have some issues with that. I speak everything in depth on my vitamin D videos. If you guys keep mentioning other people's names, I'm going to ban you. They're all shills and I don't care. No, they don't, you don't understand. You're saying just because someone disagrees with Frank doesn't mean they're a shill. No, you're just gaslighting now. They all copy my information, they all ignore me, and they all promote these people. They are working together in some type of group collaboration. They are, I would bet a lot of money they're Freemasons or part of some society, and they are part of a corporate agenda to control the food supply. Why do you think, why do you think two of them are, why do you think Bobby and Tristan are Christians and they're promoting some Christian agenda? No offense to any of you religious people, but it's pretty obvious they're being inauthentic. Both Tristan and Bobby were ex-vegans. They were being paid to be vegan. Now they're being paid to be carnivore. Guys, please, I don't need to explain it. Listen, there's three people in my chat. One person there's people that have an IQ above 80 that acknowledge this. There's people with an IQ below 80 that are not convinced, and there's gaslighters that are just lying and saying that shit. Iron overload is a symptom or the root cause of an illness. It depends on the content. It can be both. I'm not joking. Nathan, I have a few videos on breaking a fast that you can check out. Hey, you listen, if you guys want to listen to the ex-vegans that are giving carnivore advice, go ahead. I don't care. None of them are half as smart as me. Because you talk shit about every single... Why do you think the person is popular in the first place? Do you see how much work I had to put into my YouTube channel to develop my viewer base? When these other people just get thrown on podcasts.
What's your thoughts on what happens when we die? Is it just nothing?
The death part, I don't really care about, man. I haven't thought too much about it. I just focus on things day by day and what I can do to be as successful as possible every day. But I think there's a lot of truth to, doing something positive on this planet. And all of these people that are, it's hard to believe that, there are people that that are shills, that, that don't treat people properly, that don't care, and that are just in it for themselves, aka the carnivores, and I don't have to name names, but these people might enjoy their lives on here, but they're ruining the lives of someone else. And if there is any good in this world when they're not here anymore, whatever does happen to them when they're gone, they're not going to be, if they're judged in any way, it's not going to be positive. These carnivores, these shills can do whatever they want in this life, but As soon as this life is over,
Best
they're
source of water? Is Pellegrino out of a glass bottle good, safe long term?
as soon as this life is over, when they're getting judged by whatever it is that person going to ask them, why were you shoving grain-fed meat down people's throats so you could get railed by European dudes? Like, that's what you're going to be asked? Like, go Christian goy. What about white coating on the tongue? It's not necessarily a sign of candida, or I mean, it depends. If you're having some really foul breath, you could have dysbiosis, but white coating on the tongue is not necessarily an indicator of I mean, it can be. I'm not saying it's not. It's just you can't say white tongue is this. You know, there's a whole bunch of different things that could be causing it. Best source of water? Pellegrino, honestly, I don't think is a reliable brand. There's a bunch of other more reliable ones. I'd love to start my own water company. I don't know how that works, but you know, the best and most affordable way, there's a website called findaspring.com. You know, going to a local spring, filling up water every once in a while, and then you have some clean drinking water. We go to Ram Ranch after death. Some of you boys wish. And this will be their legacy for eternity. Their descendants will know all their secrets. Yep. I wouldn't trust anyone that was a vegan that is now suddenly carnivore. This is what you guys don't understand. This is something you guys are missing. And I don't know if I have to explain this again in the future. You don't just stop being vegan. These people that might have actually been vegan, I don't know how many of them were just I think a lot of these people that were vegan, they were legitimate vegans, but then they just happened to started getting paid, and then they became paid vegan shills. And then when their health declined and they had to stop being vegan, you know, their quitting of the vegan diet was kind of like truthful. So you have some people like Raw Alignment that go completely carnivore. Like, that's an obvious, like, shit. That's a pretty obvious shill. Like, she had no problem going from vegan to carnivore. Other people, you know, like Bonnie Rebecca, it was way different. You know, these vegans that still don't want to eat meat, that stick to fish, that stick to eggs, a lot of those vegans are actually, might actually, I don't know, I'm not saying for certain, but they might actually be, you know, they might have actually legitimately been vegans, because they actually care for animals. So it's pretty easy to recognize if someone was a legitimate vegan or not. You don't just flip-flop ideologies that quickly. It doesn't happen. But back to the water question. I probably have at least 10 videos on water right now if you want to know more in depth on water. But you know, there are a lot of concerns from the physical to the chemical pollutants. And
what if ketone urine strips are still dark after a month in ketosis? Normal?
The only way you can be sure that your water supply isn't polluted is to test it. And, you know, even if you're running your water through multiple filtration systems, it's very difficult to say if, you know, even the highest reverse osmosis distilled tap water, if every hormone, if every chemical is removed. What if ketone urine strips are still dark after a month of ketosis? Normal? What is a dark? This is the thing. The thing about ketosis, guys, is you're measuring the excretion of ketones in the urine. Typically, that's going to be in like an overweight person consuming large amounts of fat. C+, I would watch my video I did on keto a couple weeks back. You know, it explained what ketosis is, why it's not super important in most cases. You know, the only scenario where you would want to be in ketosis and not elevate your blood sugar above a certain amount or spike your insulin a certain amount is if you have some type of metabolic disease that you're trying to heal. For most people, it's not necessary to be in ketosis or try to be so strict about the blood sugar levels and the ketone levels. How do we find why tongue gets coated, Brett? Okay, it's your mouth. Your mouth has, just like your gut microbiome, you have an oral microbiome, and that has to be healthy in a certain way. How do you stop hair from thinning, or how do you increase density? Like, what specific vitamins lead to thick, healthy hair? Why don't you go ask the other bullivores? I mean, if you guys like the other carnivores so much, why don't you ask them how to get thick, luscious hair? Oh, wait. Do they have any hair? No, they don't. I'm sorry. Guess you can't ask them. But you can certainly buy my hair loss video course whenever I decide to make it. Thunder Fist Fight Bear. I would definitely watch my my podcast with Heal Your Gut guy. Now you're just making up shit to scare people. All meat is shit, so go to my page and buy my meat. Slide TBR. Is that why I haven't made a dime off of Frankie's Free Range Meat yet? And why is that why I still drive a 2001 Ford Taurus? Is that why Frankie's Free Range Meat is more affordable than every other grass-fed meat company online? Like, I literally tell people in my consultations, don't buy my meat, go to local farms. But if my meat's more affordable, if you don't have access to it, you can buy from me. And we are selling local. This week we are having two. We're back to the local beef, so we're getting 2 cows slaughtered this week. So if you guys are excited about fresh meat, recently slaughtered, we should have it next week. Blood flow restriction. Every time someone brings up blood flow restriction, I make a joke about a cock ring. But I think it was just a scheme for people to sell those stupid ass bands. That's they just want to sell you shit, man. It's bullshit. Yeah, Wordy, I know they're all shills, but what are you gonna do? It's controlled opposition. Anyone that's popular is controlled opposition. Anyone that has hundreds of thousands of followers, millions of followers is controlled opposition. They're selling you a fake agenda that you think goes against the modern society and the modern media, but then they're steering you in another direction they want you to be in. Frankie, I want to thank you for creating a video on grounding. I think it was the most informative video available on the subject. Did you ever find a solution to grounding in New York? You can't really ground. Yeah. Hopefully, when I have my farm in a couple years from now, I'll be out in the fucking middle of nowhere and I can ground. But I'm literally gonna build a house. I'm gonna build a house that's grounded. So I'm gonna get some type of natural flooring material, and the whole house is gonna be one floor. And it's gonna be like I'm just gonna be grounded the whole time. Frank, you need to chill. Let the carnivores go. Guys, I was going to let the carnivores do their own thing. Then they started stealing my information and stealing my viewers. Okay, that's not how it works. Okay? And they're never going to apologize, and they're never going to admit what they did. So I'm going to keep tearing their shit down brick by brick until they look like a bunch of morons. I eat grass to make up for the corn-fed meat. What's the craziest thing you've done as far as killing and eating animals in your backyard? I haven't really. Every animal, I don't slaughter animals and like I don't do that type of stuff because it's really messy. I do stuff in butcher shops, so usually I go to a live kill market in Queens or the Bronx, and we do it with the bandsaw is really helpful. When you're breaking down an animal, a bandsaw is like I would never break down an animal without a bandsaw. It's so easy. Just like through all the bones. It's so fucking easy. I don't. The problem is I don't remember how to. Like I don't butcher stuff often, so I don't remember how to do it. Like I've done a couple lambs myself. Like the first time I did a lamb, I had to figure it out, and then I remembered how to do it. But I haven't broken down a lamb in like a year, so I'd probably have to relearn it. I did a cow once. I did. Have I done a pig? No, I don't think I've done a pig. I've done chickens, but like you don't unless it's like it's for me. I don't remember this stuff unless I do it. I mean, filleting fish is pretty easy. So usually, but I still forget where the fillets are on certain species of fish. So, as with any skill, you lose it I lose it if I don't use it. So, I mean, I fillet a lot of salmon and smaller fish a lot. So I remember that type. I remember how to shuck oysters. So, but I don't actually, I don't work in the butcher shop every day and do it. So I'm not the person actually breaking down the animal. So I don't remember how to do it. Frankie, where did you steal your information? Well, usually
I
how it
live
works.
in Ontario. Raw dairy and cow shares are illegal here. I'm getting my milk and cheese from my local grass-fed farm. Is this good enough?
There are actually some people that will like drive across the border to pick up raw milk and then drive back.
How bad is
Um,
daily use of antiperspirant deodorant? Any alternatives?
there's some people that do drive into like New York once every 2 weeks or wherever they are by the Canadian border and get raw dairy and then bring it back. There should be raw cheese
Is it
available.
okay to drink from BPA-free plastic?
There should be raw cheese available in Ontario. I know raw cheese is almost always available and legal regardless of the country you're in. It's just the other dairy products tend to be illegal. I would try to figure something out where you could like maybe pay them off the books and cash and maybe get some raw dairy. Maybe go to the farm and talk to them. Is it okay to drink from BPA-free plastic? Are you really asking me that question? Like, what do you want me to say to that question? Like, is it the end of the world if you drink from one plastic bottle? No. Would I consistently drink from BPA-free plastic? Probably not. The problem is when like the water sits in the plastic and it leaches for long periods of time. Hey, Lori, thanks for the additional support. How bad is the daily use of antiperspirant and deodorant? Any alternatives? That's why I have Frankie's Naturals, which I'm trying to get listed on Amazon, but I have not. I don't know, like, my business hasn't been doing too well. I haven't been making a lot of money, but it's a decent income. So we do have deodorant on Frankie's Naturals. I'm still making all of these products out of my apartment. So if you guys do want an aluminum-free deodorant, that's where you go. I've had a couple, quite a few of my clients have gotten hair mineral analysis, and every single time in the hair mineral analysis, they have toxic levels of aluminum. And aluminum isn't deodorant. Aluminum isn't a lot of cookware. Frank, any predictions for tonight's State of the Union address? I don't watch TV. I don't follow politics. Be careful of ground current. The power lines out in the middle of the country still create ground current. If you go solar, make sure you do it right so you don't create dirty electricity. You said you killed ducks in my backyard. Did I? Oh, I think I did. Yeah. I didn't want that on record for YouTube because the vegans will get mad. Yeah, when I was having back last year I remember that when I was having the really bad iron overload, I got some fresh ducks from a local. Where did I get them from? Was it a Chinese guy? No, some Arabic guy, and I had some fresh duck meat, but that was only once. Frank has coronavirus. He's sneezing. Demonetized for saying the virus. Demonetized. Your eyes aren't that dry anymore. You really fixed your iron overload. Yeah, I'm feeling better. I'm not blinking as much and I'm not licking my lips as much. Today's a little bad because I didn't hydrate, but I'm unable to afford a full clean product but store beef. I get grass-fed, local sweetened organs and supplement with potassium, mackerel, and herring. Anything else I can add? Jason Fator, I would check out my meal plan video earlier. Carnivore diet meal plan video and get the free meal plan. Sardines versus mackerel versus herring, which is the best? They're all pretty similar. Sardines are usually more expensive
Will
and harder
copper
to get.
help with my histamine intolerance?
Yeah, copper is the only thing I've found to fix a histamine intolerance. In all of my clients and myself personally, copper is the only thing that actually works for histamine intolerance. And histamine intolerance is very common on carnivore. My nose bleeds regularly after I eat. Could this be from excess iron? I would make sure you're not eating too much liver or vitamin A. Yes, Derek, the order should ship by tomorrow. Can we build a farm from scratch? Well, I talked about that earlier. I don't have enough money. I have to save up some money. And we'll see how it goes this year, how much money I can save up. After manually reviewing your video, we've confirmed that it isn't suitable for all advertisers. As a result, it will continue to run with no ads. Coronavirus has reached New York City. I can't do fucking anything on YouTube. It doesn't, what the hell's the point of me even making videos anymore? I can't talk about anything. Like these channels with like 3,000 subscribers make a video on the coronavirus and it gets like 300,000 views. I get a video on coronavirus and some dude is like, "Oh no, Frank." He presses the button and then no one watches my video. Is cod liver a good source of copper? Yeah.
Causes, treatment for dandruff.
Not cod liver oil, but cod liver is a good source of copper. Causes and treatment for dandruff. That's too, the dandruff stuff is too general. I would try to just do no shampoo for a couple weeks and see how that goes. How should you know when to supplement magnesium? I mean, I would just supplement it, see how it goes for a couple weeks, see how you feel. Frank, in one video you said you haven't bartended in years. Technically, yeah. I can give you a timeline. About 3 or 4 weeks ago, I bartended at a party because one of my old friends called me. But before that, the last time I bartended was maybe April of 2019. I worked for like a week, so I wouldn't consider that really bartending. I worked for Tao Group at a really really popular rooftop lounge in New York City for like a week. Didn't work out.
Causes, treatment for back ants.
So 4 weeks ago, I bartended for a day. About a year ago, I bartended for a week. But my last legitimate bartending job was at the end of 2018, middle of 2017. So I haven't really bartended professionally for a couple years. That was at a cocktail bar in Manhattan. Causes, treatments for back acne. I think Mini Eater, I would watch my iron overload video. I think iron overload is a big underlying cause for acne. That's very likely what it is, and I would usually, for someone's having problems with acne, I would look to iron overload or calcium overload and remedy those with either the methods I recommend in my iron overload video or what I recommend in like my vitamin D videos. You know, taking a lot of D3, taking a lot of K2. Basically everything that I say in my book, and as well as some of the things I go over in my carnivore diet meal plan, will correct these things to some degree. Basic iron overload. I guess acne can be tackled with pretty much this simple protocol of, make sure you stay hydrated, make sure you're exercising, sleeping well, getting sun, donating blood to remove excess iron, making sure you're getting plenty of K2 in the diet, plenty of omega-3s, not consuming too much food at once. Thoughts on boron? I've supplemented boron experimentally, and I have never noticed anything. Frank, join Vimeo. It's a subscription-based access to your videos. You can do $5 a month for access to your videos. It's like YouTube, except you get money. Nothing is as popular as YouTube. A certain carnivore keeps mocking iron overload. I'm collecting a list. I'm probably at like 24 people so far in my emails that have had iron overload, let alone the people that have commented on my channel. The reason carnivores will ignore actual issues about the carnivore diet, such as iron overload and zinc imbalance, is because it literally compromises their diet. It's like the vegans and the B12 argument. Vegans say just supplement it, but the carnivores won't even address it. No pregnant woman in Germany will touch fish. Doctors scare them with potential damage to fetus from poisoning. That's not good. Omega-3s are very important for brain development. And if the fish source is so polluted that you can't get your omega-3s, then you do have to find a solution for omega-3s. Yeah, Ricky, you could send me an email and I'll let you know if it's something I've gone over already. Some people can't absorb B12 in their small intestine. Yeah, it is an issue in some people. You will know how long should humans live. If you look at indigenous groups, I think it's like 80s, 90s usually. Does cooking the fatty fish oxidize the omega-3? I mean, in some capacity, but nothing concerning. I mean, what you don't want to do is, fish fried in a Chinese restaurant in soybean oil. That's the real problem. Can I donate blood in one state, then drive over to another to donate without waiting 3 months? I think you can. I'm not sure. I haven't tried it myself, but I'm pretty sure you could. You can go to another state to donate blood. Tim, I haven't. No, I haven't looked into it. Fat trim is causing acid reflux. Betaine, HCl, and ox bile don't resolve my symptoms. Any tips? I would reduce the volume of food you're eating. And I mean, Adam, it's hard for me to say that. I don't know if you're taking any other medications. I don't know what your meal looks like. I would try to consume maybe fat contained in fattier cuts as opposed to fat and protein separately. Recommendations for naturally raising stomach acid. You have to address what's causing the lack of stomach acid. Do you believe the government was after Adonis for exposing the truth? I mean, what was Adonis doing? Like, I don't think Adonis was doing anything that. I don't think he did enough. I don't think he did anything that would have gotten him killed. I think it was a legitimate accident. Unless he knew something that he was going to expose. But he was just prescribing a diet that was helping people. It wasn't anything crazy. Like, I mean, me talking about EMF is far more dangerous than anything Adonis is talking about. Will you ever get a dog? I don't want to because I don't want to take care of it. But if I get the farm, I'm gonna get Basenji probably. Why does my face look pale? I don't think. I mean, maybe the lighting. You can get a doctor's note to donate blood more often. Yeah, you have to go to a hematologist, and your ferritin has to be high. But usually, even if your ferritin is kind of high, they won't let you donate blood unless your transferrin saturation is high too, or if your iron saturation is high. So it can be hard to. Yeah, it can be hard. You might have to try to find a doctor that's willing to do an MRI of your liver for iron. What are your plans for Valentine's Day? I don't know, man. I'm just trying to take it day by day. I'm just so exhausted doing videos every day. Do you ever go to any carnivore events? I mean, I wasn't invited to the first Carnivore Con, and I'm definitely not getting invited to this one because I'm not a special interest shill that's being paid by big agriculture to promote the consumption of estrogenic feedlot beef. So no, my answer is no, I don't go to these carnivore events, and I don't encourage you to because they're just a money grab. They just want to take your money and not improve your health. Well, I can't say that's not necessarily true.
A few months of Prilosec a few years ago.
All they want to do is take your money and improve your health a little bit, just enough to keep taking your money. They don't want you to actually become healthy enough so your brain starts working and realize what they're doing to you.
How often do you work out when you aren't bodybuilding?
Prilosec used for a couple months. I'm not sure about the long-term effects of that. If you take Prilosec for a couple months, you might have caused some type of dysbiosis. But if you took Prilosec for a couple months and you stopped and everything was normal, then I wouldn't worry about it. I'd have to look into the metabolism of the drug to see if it can cause any long-term damage to certain organs. I would assume the real risk of taking Prilosec is getting a fungal infection. How often do you work out when you weren't bodybuilding? Oh man, sometimes I would work. Sometimes I would work out, 4 or 5 times a week. Sometimes I wouldn't work out at all during the week. So it depended. I would say average 10 to 15 times a month when I wasn't bodybuilding. Frank is being censored from carnivore events. Yeah, it doesn't matter because I'm gonna make more money than all those clowns combined. Don't worry about that. And I'm not gonna spend the money on a mansion for me and my rotten family. I'm gonna spend it on helping people. Can you get rid of candida with out of prescribed medicine? Yeah, I have a video on candida. There's an excellent talk and notes on that I most of my information on SIBO and candida is from this talk. No, I wouldn't say most of that actually. Most of the information I have from SIBO and candida is through my self experimentation. But what helped me get started was the 2017 Integrative SIBO Conference. Michaela Peterson seen hanging with playboys in Russia. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what she's doing, honestly. And guys, I don't know why you guys are obsessed with her. Like, I'm twice as pretty as her. Like, have you guys never been outside? Like, I don't. Looks like a dude. Why is grounding in New York City not effective? There's too much non-native fields, too much electricity. Gut microbiome issues from being a C-section. Well, I mean, to be honest, I mean, you know, my gut health is good, but I have even a little acne right now. I've had acne my whole life. I think part of fixing gut issues from being a baby is a big part of that. Remove the iron overload, remove any excess hypovitaminosis, imbalances, mineral imbalances, and then repopulate with good gut bacteria. But that's easier said than done. And you guys
Thoughts on SSRIs? How to quit them?
I mean, that's tough. I mean, honestly, you know, a lot of people that I've met with anxiety, that are on anxiety medication, that are on antidepressants, it's kind of, you know, some of them have gotten to a point where it's very difficult to get back from. The way I usually do it with my clients is I have, you know, we improve the diet, we improve the lifestyle, and then we take it from there. You know, if the person is able to improve their diet and lifestyle enough that they can taper off the drug, that's usually the goal. It really depends on your willpower. You know, I've followed a diet for. Have I ever cheated on my diet when I didn't want to? Like, have I ever seen a food that I just ate because it was there? No, it's never happened. One time on my Patreon, I made a carnivore cheeseburger that was really good. I ate that. But I was really sick because I don't digest the wheat in the bun. That was a couple years ago. All the other food that you guys have seen me taste, I've spit out, unfortunately, for my own digestive safety. What else have I actually swallowed? We went down to Hell's Kitchen at no, that's we're not saying that joke. I'm trying to think. When I did some experiments with various things when I had the no that I guess I wouldn't consider that deviating. I went out to dinner once for my I went out to dinner once with my sister for my birthday last year, and I think there were some berries with the duck liver pate. I just have such a shitty memory. Maybe I've had a few glasses of wine over the past few years. Why am I talking about this? Oh, I'm talking about adherence to the diet. So yeah, no, I mean, it depends on what your willpower is, how willing you're able to stick to the diet. That's gonna overlap to how willing you are to get off of medication. I liked Michaela Peterson until one day I went outside. All the girls are dogs here. I'm thinking about carrying milk bones. That would be a really funny joke. Should we avoid eating beef every day to avoid iron overload? Not necessarily. It's not if you're one of the people that, you know, do end up storing iron in your liver from that, then maybe you want to just donate blood. Calcium mobilizes iron, right? Maybe that's why I can finally sleep well at night after I started taking calcium. No, I mean, calcium can inhibit some iron absorption, but I'm assuming you're consuming dairy, and dairy has nutrients that will mobilize iron. Have you ever been to London? No, I don't think I've ever left the United States. I've just been through. I've been in a couple different states, but I've never. I've never left the United States. I mean, I have obligations with my. I still work a day job. I have my sister. I have my YouTube channel. I don't just can't just travel. Is raw yogurt, eggs, and liver every day too much vitamin A? That's very genetically based and lifestyle based. Since you're consuming milk and honey for bodybuilding, you won't be in ketosis anymore. I stopped the dairy because I wasn't feeling so good on it. I was drinking too much dairy for the bodybuilding, and I think it was just too much calcium. Most people I talk to are okay with consuming. Like I speak to I like one person every day I speak to. They can drink like a gallon of milk, no problem. But I can't. I mean, I could have drank it, but I was just what? All right, so let me actually. That's not truthful. What was actually happening was I was doing fine on the yogurt, on the milk, on the dairy, on a little bit of raw honey. But then I went a little crazy and I started having like raw egg smoothies every day with like honey and milk twice a day. And that kind of blew my stomach out. Like basically almost like ice cream milkshakes every day. So that was the issue. So I stopped doing the dairy. So I haven't really been consuming a lot of carbs. I've tried honey here and there, but I actually don't feel that good on honey. So I'm kind of on zero carb right now. Is it bad to go through security scanners? Oh, probably, yeah. But I don't know how, I mean, I don't know how bad that is. Like on a scale of like X-ray to cell phone, I don't know. Thoughts on vegan gain saying you aren't carnivore for using maple in your bacon video? I didn't actually eat that bacon, whether people care or not. I didn't really. I'm just not that much of a fan of bacon. Uh, but I mean, the thing that people don't understand is, 99% plus of the calories I've eaten in the past 7 years are purely from meat. Whether I have raw honey from time to time or whether I put some black pepper on my steak the other day. Like, it's not a big deal. The point is I've been majorly carnivore, and my intelligence about the diet, the way I look, the way I convey myself, portrays that knowledge of the carnivore diet. And the main element to that is, you're mostly adhering to a diet, and vegans, the thing about a vegan diet, this is the real thing. The thing about a vegan diet is when someone deviates from a vegan diet, it's not, eating black pepper or honey on a carnivore diet doesn't compromise anything. You're not getting a nutrient. You're not doing something against the dietary beliefs, really. It's not that big of a deal. But if you eat meat on a vegan diet, you're doing two things. You're going against the reason you're vegan to heal the world through saving the animals. And two, you're getting nutrients that are not contained on a vegan diet. So when you have a sliver, when you have an egg, when you deviate from a vegan diet, that's why it's such a big deal. That's why carnivores don't care. If you look on that Bar-K video I made yesterday, who cares if he no. First of all, Bar-K was likely never following the diet in the first place. That was my point. Like, there's a difference between having beer Friday night and not following the carnivore diet. That's ridiculous. Not following the diet and giving people advice as if you were following the diet. That's what I have a problem with. But, that's why most carnivores don't care if you deviate from the diet a little bit. That's why a lot of carnivores have their chocolate, they have their wine, they deviate from the diet because it's about, how do they feel healthy, how do they feel good. But veganism is a belief, and It's missing nutrients contained in animal food. So those are two elements that a carnivore diet has. What is your preferred cooking method for beef, chicken, and fish? Um, Steaks, I usually like wood fire or a high heat broiler for beef. Chicken, marinated, grilled. Fish, oh, I kind of like fish anyway whatsoever. I like raw fish, boiled fish, poached fish. My favorite fish might be like steamed crab. Maybe do a video on crab soon. Your beef belly is amazing. It's really good stuff. Wagyu beef belly. Guys, we sell Wagyu beef belly on Frankie's Free Range Meat for $16 a pound. I'm up in the price. I don't know what I was thinking when I did that. I don't know what I was thinking when I put $16 a pound for Wagyu beef belly. What country would you like to visit the most? Honestly, I don't really feel like going anywhere because most of the time the girls are taller than me. What's my day job? I'd rather not disclose that. Bacon Thulu will not appreciate that remark, Frank. You know, one time I made my mother I had some lamb fat, and I had some my dad cooked some bacon from the store, and or no, this was back when my sister was following a feedlot carnivore diet.
Haven't been working out due to gut issues because I can't eat a lot. Can I stick to liver, salmon, roe, lean meat, or do I still need an energy source even though I am pretty sedentary?
For gut issues, I would just try very lean meat. Yeah, I would do exactly that. No liver. First of all, no liver with the gut issues. I would stick to lean meat, salmon roe, lean stuff. You should be fine. Energy source might, I would honestly, if you're having a problem with animal fats, I would even try some coconut oil or something. Just a base fat that digests easily. Experiment with a bunch of different energy sources and see what you tolerate. What are you getting calories from if you're not eating dairy or lots of fat from beef? I'm just eating a lot of steak. And I'm trying to get some honey. I'm trying to do a few tablespoons of honey per day, and I'm eating a lot of steak. I'm not eating as many calories as I should be, probably. I'm not actually eating that many calories. I feel okay, though. I don't think Bobby is a shill, but I do think it was odd he found Christianity overnight while he was promoting shrooms. That's the most obvious Joe Rogan agenda there is. Like, the whole Joe Rogan podcast is orchestrated to normalize drug usage. Like, it's ridiculous. Literally, the purpose of the Joe Rogan podcast is to convince people to fry their brain. Would you star in a porno if the chance arose? It would have to be hundreds of thousands of dollars for me to do something like that. It would have to be an amount of money that would change my life for a positive way. Have you ever consulted with UFC fighters? Guys, these professional fighters, these professional athletes, what they do is they have nutritionists, and those nutritionists just watch my videos and try to take bits and pieces from my stuff and apply it to their clients. They don't like outsiders. They don't do that type of stuff. Brazilian girls are much shorter on average. Oh, don't get me started on Brazilian girls. If you guys go to Brazil or attend any Brazilian event for that matter, you will never look at an American girl. No offense to you American ladies in the chat, but different ball game in a lot of cases. How about the porno with French Carnivore? I think French Carnivore has already started in a couple of those. How do I eat carnivore without getting fat? Don't consume estrogenic feedlot meat. I would check out my carnivore diet meal plan I made earlier. I would check out my book, The Ancestral Indigenous Diet. If you follow the principles in that, you will fix your appetite naturally and you won't overconsume calories. You'll fix your insulin resistance. You'll be able to improve your body composition and lose weight. Some Brazilian girls definitely have balls. Frank, finish the story about the bacon and your parents. It's not that exciting of a story. Yeah, Korean girl is very pretty too. What website sells grass-fed and pasture-raised meat in America? Frankie's Free Range Meat. How to tell if someone is using human growth hormone? I think Vegan Gains is. Any vegan that has any semblance of muscle mass is using steroids. 100%, without a doubt. What steroids they're using, I don't know. I'm not an expert. How to grow hair after losing it because of birth control? I mean, that's... You could take all the, you could take all the basic aspects of improving your diet and see how things go, and hopefully your hormones regulate. I mean, yeah, I mean, when I start the farm, our goal is to do eggs and raw dairy, and we're probably not going to raise like traditional animals. We're not going to raise like, we don't really want to raise beef and pork and chicken. We want to raise animals that people don't have access to. Dan, I have a video. I have a video on how to lose weight on the carnivore diet. Trump is the only American option. Everyone else wants communism. Yep. Do you think a certain famous doctor who promotes NAD is pushing the vegan diet propaganda under the guise that excess protein causes aging? I mean, no, there's an agenda to everything for sure. Have you seen the islanders between Japan and Africa that literally look like black Japanese? I wonder if that's where we think why Asians are pretty, because they have bone structure roots from Africa, eh? I don't know enough about that.
Thoughts on caffeine?
I spoke about caffeine a little bit in my coffee video. Caffeine can really mess with the adrenals, which is bad because, the adrenals are one of the most important, or if not the most important hormonal system in the body. And especially women, there's a lot of female carnivores, and Brownhorn. There's a lot of female carnivores that look like they're dying. It's because they drink coffee. Coffee completely wrecks female adrenals. The majority of girls are short. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm 5'8", and I don't most of the time, I don't see girls taller than me. What the point is that most girls want some guy that's usually over 6 feet tall.
My brother gets an allergic reaction when he plays sports. What is it?
Do you think Rap Boy is better looking than you? Actually, laugh, buddy. He looks like a fucking chimp, dude. Don't make me be mean today. My brother gets an allergic reaction when he plays sports. What is it? That's hard to say. Are you playing sports on a field that's sprayed with pesticides? I don't know. I don't know why. Are you getting an autoimmune reaction to the sun? I don't know. That's a very general question. Does staying up weaken adrenals? I mean, yeah. I mean, any stress on the body can harm the endocrine system. What about decaffeinated coffee? Is it bad? Coffee is generally not a great coffee is not a great food.
Thank you for answering.
Hey, Chris, you're welcome. Why do I poo-poo after eating my second meal? Because you're probably consuming a high food volume for the size of your digestive system, and it's pushing the food out. This is why I don't bodybuild. I have such a small digestive system that one meal, I have to pretty much use the bathroom after every meal. I can't fit a lot of food in my stomach. Seaweed is very variable from depending on where it's grown. Guys, I think we'll wrap this up in like 10 or 15 minutes. Ended a little early for Monday. What is it, Tuesday night? Am I still working out? Yeah, I don't want to do the weightlifting stuff. We'll see how lucrative the fitness stuff gets. Do I do overhead press? No. I don't really like overhead press I can't really do, I don't really like heavy, it's just too heavy of a movement for for muscle activation. What about mint teas? I think I talked about tea in my coffee video. As your body pushes out the food you previously ate, does that mean you're not fully digesting it? I mean, you're not. Your body, essentially, you can hypothetically make your digestive system so your body expels very little waste. Um, but getting to that point can be difficult because you're not always consuming food. I don't actually want to say this. It's information that I don't want to give away. Never mind. I'm not saying that. Sorry, I can't answer that question. But I will take down those notes for a future video. Do you have lower volume or different style workouts when you weren't bodybuilding? No, it was the same workout. I just didn't do it every day. It's guys, all the carnivores are controlled opposition. If you don't know what controlled opposition is, then Google it. Thoughts on colostrum? I didn't notice the benefit from using it. Some people have reported benefits. I'd have to do more research on it. Hard to get muscular on calisthenics because of it can be difficult to stimulate muscles with when if you have a hard time doing if you have a hard time doing pull-ups, if you can only do a few pull-ups, how are you going to activate all your muscles? It's hard to build muscle on calisthenics. Yeah, I'm probably going to sell I don't know what platform I'm going to sell the bodybuilding routine on. I think it might have to be on Vimeo or something. I'll have to see. I have to sell the routine in a way that people won't really steal it. Yeah, the water bottle it's green, so it gets messed up on the green screen. This one is blue though. This one doesn't go invisible. Sell it on OnlyFans. OnlyFans has a pretty good like OnlyFans, it's pretty hard to copy stuff from there, right? Alex, I would try going without dairy for a little while, see how you feel. Stop flexing with that expensive ass mountain water. What's expensive is going to the doctor 3 times a week, like my dad does. That's what's expensive. You buy your water in bulk? I'm going to. I gotta find a company. I gotta buy a pallet or something from a company so I save money long term. How come you don't post outfits of the day anymore? I got told by someone that you can't really grow your Instagram unless you get approved, and I can't get approved. I don't dress up anymore. I don't like put on outfits anymore, so no, I don't have cryptocurrency. I don't really have any money. Most of my money I saved up when I was younger, I spent on my jaw surgery. And then I spent money on my LASIK eye surgery. And then I had gynecomastia surgery, which I shouldn't have really got because I didn't really have gyno. I just had large nipples, so go figure. How to cure eating disorder? I don't mess with eating disorders. I've had some girlfriends with eating disorders and fucking never again. It's like it's not it's not fun to deal with. It's very mental. It's very difficult to fix. Yeah, I wouldn't get plastic. Would I have gotten the gyno surgery again? Probably not if I knew. If I knew. No, no, a flake. I don't know. That's not really. That's kind of nonsense. That's not what bioavailability is. Is meat racist? According to vegans, it is. Are you still eating yogurt or kefir? Not right now. I was tired. Honestly, one of the reasons I stopped the raw dairy, it was just too expensive. I was spending too much money every week. Frank, how bad were the eating disorders you've come across with these girls? Um, I mean, a girl at college, I never saw her eat once. I hung out with this girl for 3 months. I don't think I saw her eat once. She wasn't skinny though. She was very very pretty. And she was dating a black dude, so go figure. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, but you know, generally speaking, what are you gonna do? I'm not working. I'm just stretching my back. I ended up getting some posture issues from standing at my desk with my hand on my mouse the wrong way. So I'm trying to keep my posture okay. Does the cod liver cans you sell contain any BPA? We're switching over to jarred cod liver because we do have that concern. To our understanding, the cans don't have BPA, but there are certainly pollution concerns. Frank, what's happening with the cod liver Adam's going to make? We'll have some soon. Frank, what made you want the jaw surgery? Was it recommended by your dentist? Yeah, orthodontist. And well, to be fair, with that black dude statement, what I really meant was, I thought it was kind of funny, because she's dating this like 5'8" pretty Italian boy, and then on the side she's dating this like gigantic. I don't know what to do. Like, I don't understand how a girl can be attracted to those different ends of the spectrum. To be honest, I don't get it. You know, those are kind of like two opposite ends of the spectrum, aren't they? Where is what interview at? How long did you have braces for in total? I had braces when I was younger as a teenager for 2 years. And then I had braces again for 2 years when I had my jaw surgery. The nipple surgery seemed to be a waste, and the surgeon should have told you it's redundant. He should have, but he didn't. Why can't you get along with the carnivores? Because one of them stole my information and is very successful passing it off as his own. I like fit girls and fat chicks. Same difference. You're just a filthy pig. That's what it is. What's my background education-wise? I have a really big brain. She only fell for the West African part of you, Frank. Well, I got some gene testing done at 23andMe, and I'm not actually West African. I'm just European, for the most part. I don't know. I got some gene testing somewhere, and it was like 30% North African. Then I got this gene testing on 23andMe, and it's like 80% European and 20% Southern European. So I don't know what's going on. I bet you if I got it from somewhere else, it'd be different again. What's your opinion of reverse osmosis? I have several videos on water. Would you drink local spring water even if it only came in plastic containers? I don't know. I hope I don't have to make that decision, thankfully.
Do you only wash your hair with water? How long have you only used water and no shampoo?
Probably like 5 years plus, maybe 6, 7, 8 years plus. I haven't used
Thoughts
shampoo in
on
my hair in a
saunas,
while.
steam rooms?
Haven't used. She liked you for your New York attitude, and she liked the brother for his Johnson. I don't. There's no. Listen. I don't think that's the case. Unless she's having sex with a horse, then it's not possible. And I mean a literal horse. Yeah, I've only washed my hair with water for like, I don't know. I don't know how many years now. A long ass time. 7, 8, 9 years. Thoughts on saunas and steam rooms? Well, in New York City gyms, there is a culture of sauna equals gay. So I've never been in a sauna in a gym. Actually, technically, I have never been in a sauna in a gym. And I've told this story on my live stream in the past. That I don't want to tell the story again. Maybe we'll tell it next time. But very, very pretty funny experience. But from an actual hot cold therapy perspective, I think cold therapy is more beneficial. I wouldn't really look. I mean, hot sauna steam room can be helpful for, detoxing certain toxins from your skin if you are in some type of like metabolic state. No, yeah, no, I would never. Yeah, I know 23andMe probably is like cloning copies of Frank right now, or doing some weird shit with my genes. But I was just curious. I know I probably shouldn't have sent them my DNA. Live stream hopefully Thursday next week. How long did it take for your hair to get used to being washed with just water? I think it was pretty fast, man. It must have been a couple weeks. Are there any unisex saunas in New York? I don't know. I've never actually worked out at a gym in New York City. I've worked out in gyms north of the city. Hey, Fit and Fab, what's going on? Why do Reuters go bald? I mean, what is it? The testosterone converts to DHT. It accelerates balding. There's probably a bunch of other mechanisms too. Is a pound of raw cheese a day too much? I mean, if you tolerate a pound of cheese a day, that's good for you. Are you going to try to work out with Hitomi? Oh, she would spit in my face. I wouldn't, if I saw her, I would literally hope she doesn't see me and I'd walk the other way.
Can you still have iron overload if ferritin is high but liver enzymes are not?
Yes. Usually liver enzymes being high is like a last resort kind of thing. Liver enzymes being high means your liver is severely overloaded with iron. Whose huge pink panties is Frank playing with? How long will I grow my hair? I don't know. We'll see. No, I think Hitomi works out at a gym that I have a membership for, but I'd have to like it's in Manhattan. It's probably like an hour drive from
I
me.
am 18. Is it possible to grow and are too taller with adequate nutrition?
If your growth plates didn't fuse, yeah, but that depends on if your growth plates fused, and then I would just eat quality animal foods. I don't know what I did when sometimes when I don't sleep well, like last night, my back just starts hurting a lot. So I haven't been not so fun today. I don't use it. I sometimes I use my moisturizing cream when I go to the tanning salon, but sometimes I just forget to use it on my feet and stuff. Some people saying they heal thyroid problems on high carb. No, carbs can help with thyroid issues temporarily for sure. Who smells worse? Standard American diet people, vegans, or beef only carnivores? All of those people can smell terrible. It really depends on the person. All of those people can individually smell very bad. No, I mean, what do you mean you don't lay down? I was laying down to sleep, but my back is all fucked up. When I lay down, my back feels better, but I can't just lay down all day. So if you guys have any more questions, we'll wrap this up in a few more minutes. When your personal training was your first job at a smaller gym, I want to work at Lifetime or Equinox, but I probably need to start at a smaller gym, right? Brett, my advice is go back to school because even Lifetime or Equinox, they don't pay that much. It's not a great job. Honestly, Equinox you can probably get in off the bat. They pay you jack shit. You're like living at the gym for the first few months. But if you can do well at Equinox, if you're a good looking guy, if you're muscular, you're in shape, you're charismatic. There are Equinox trainers at the Equinox by me at my parents' house. They make over 100,000 a year. They make a good living if you're good. But you have to either, I think you have to kind of get in the Equinox when it's opening and hope the gym is popular. If the only way you can make that much money in a gym that's already established is if you're really like a hustler and all those other things. You have to be excellent at something, and actual physical personal training skill has little to nothing to do with it. I would say one, if you're a hot girl, you should probably be doing something else than personal training. Is probably something you can make easier money with. But if you're a really good looking guy, if you're charismatic and you might not be that good looking, but you might be really charismatic and be great at talking to people and really funny. That can work too, but it's very difficult to get clients. You have to have something they want. No, I would never take an iron supplement. And iron isn't the issue. The issue is iron isn't being mobilized. You don't have enough of the nutrients to mobilize iron. Is it possible to have shares on the farm if I'm not from America? Well, what it's looking like now is I'm probably just going to save up my own money and do it myself a year or two from now. And we're not going to rush it. I mean, it would have been nice, to get some money up front and see if people want to do it, but whatever. What are your thoughts on using some carbs before the gym? You could try it and see if you could try it and see if Alpha League guy is making a huge gym plus hotel. I have a really good gym idea, but I can't share it, so maybe in the future when I have more money. Hey, John, what's going on, man? How are things? What do you think about that Christian Guzman dude? I don't understand what people ask me, like, what do I think of certain people? I mean, he's like a successful fitness personality. Is he cute? Not my type. But, I mean, he's doing really well for himself. I'm down to help you out, man. I'd sell my wife to help you. Organic, high quality dates are high in copper. You heard about the HIV proteins in Corona? Yeah. Best source of copper without iron. Probably cod liver, but vitamin A might cause issues with your liver if it's overloaded with iron. Um, Probably salmon, some type of fish. Mangoes are high copper fruits too. Yeah, honestly, I've been trying to look at lists of high copper plant foods, but there's not too many out there. How much per pound, and is she grass or grain fed? Chocolate covered insects should be high in copper. Yeah, if I eat chocolate, I'll probably be awake for like 3 days. I ate I had this like this like this single like the single source chocolate I think a year or two ago, and I didn't sleep for like 2 days. They ask because they value your opinions. Oh, I mean, I'm not gonna, I don't really know much about Christian Guzman. I don't really know much about those mainstream fitness guys. Hey, I'm. It's always exciting to see someone be successful and be happy and be enjoying their life. But we have different goals. He's a businessman in fitness, and he's focused on building his brand and making money. And I'm focused on, my intentions really are improving people's health. But I know I need money to do that. So, um, you can't get in that position without making money, and you can't just ask people for money. Any thoughts on making 2001 Ford Taurus shirts? I would totally buy one. What? Just like a picture of the fucking car on the front? What's the shirt gonna say? Puss magnet? What's it gonna say? Have you come out as gay? Like, guys, being gay is a good thing now. Like, as much as I would love to be gay, looking at dudes kind of grosses me out. All the educated carnies claim you've lost the plot. Yeah, because they're gaslighting you because they're angry. I'm pointing. This is the thing. I'll literally point out. I'll literally point out that this person is lying about how long they've been on the diet, and they'll say I lost the plot. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like it's like they shot me in the leg or something, and they're saying like, oh, Frank tripped down the stairs. Too bad. Don't listen to him. Why are all the carnivore men balding? You realize Rat Boy would destroy you in a debate, don't you? I mean, I find that pretty hard to believe because he'd be debating my own information. And if he didn't have a computer in front of his face, he'd be completely fucked. Just like Vegan Gains would be. No, that guy was a crony sent from the dark web. Yeah, oh no, that's all they do is gaslight. They change the topic. Guys, this is what you have to notice. They will change the topic. They won't address what I say. They won't address the plagiarism I point out. They won't address that they're all ex-vegans. They won't address that they're all promoting estrogenic meat in the form of various meat companies. They won't address those things. They'll gaslight. They'll say, oh, Frank is gay. He sits on cucumbers all night. They'll just say stupid shit. They'll gaslight. They'll gaslight you all day. They'll just change the topic. I try not to make fun of bald people too much because I know there are bald people in my chat. So as much as I want to make Baltimore a meme, I might not be able to. All right, a few more minutes, guys. I still gotta do a video for tomorrow. They're sociopath. Yes, I know that. It's just hard for me to believe that these people have no goodwill in their body. It's just discouraging. It's discouraging that there are people that will sell their soul for a mediocre living and have no problem with turning men into soy boys with feedlot meat. Have you guys been on Reddit lately? There are like, no offense to you cross dressers, but there are like dudes drooling over cross dressers on Reddit now. They're like 10,000 upvotes. Like, I don't know what's going on, but stop eating the supermarket meat. That's all I have to say. What happened to my back? I've had back problems ever since I've been using my computer a lot. Ever since I don't know, it started a couple years ago. I started having back issues from using my computer mouse. I actually had to switch hands. I used to use my mouse with my left hand. Now I'm using it with my right hand. What Reddit is that on? No, it's just like if you go on Reddit, the all page, like it's on the front page of Reddit. Like you scroll down a little bit, it's on the front fucking. I don't know. I have to take a screenshot next time. Happens a couple times a week actually. Hey, I can't blame you guys. You know, sometimes some cute little fairy boy dude comes up to you in a dress. He's wearing some makeup. He's got a wig on. Hey, some of you boys get excited. What are you going to do? I can't help but laugh, but hey, each to his own. I feel kind of mean. I do feel kind of mean when I laugh, but what are you going to do? Get a lawyer? Oh, I have multiple lawyers at this point. Thankfully, I have some very intelligent viewers that are very nice. Is it the estrogen in the meat making men like traps, or making is the what? All right, guys. Let's. All right, I swear, we're gonna wrap this up in 2 minutes. So if you guys have any more questions, please let me know. Otherwise, just leave them on the live stream afterwards or on one of my other videos. Frank, is there a potential danger in surviving a suicidal hanging? I don't think that's a question you should be asking online. I don't know about that one. I don't know. You might find out that you like getting choked. Joe Rogan is a Baltimore. Yes, he is. That could be the title of my video this week. Joe Rogan spreads the Baltimore diet. Wrap it. This is getting wild. Yes. If you want some jumbo lump crab meat, Frank, email me your address. I'll happy to send you a pound. I could no JRC. I only like the I like cooking. I like cooking it myself. Are you a good driver? Yeah. I mean, I've only been in one accident, and I didn't. It was because I didn't sleep the night before. Grace, I have a video where I was chewing gum and it increased my jaw size pretty substantially. I mean, honestly, if I drove a nice car, I would have never been in a car accident. You know, I'm driving 15-year-old cars, so you know they're not exactly the best to drive. The car is still new though. It has very low miles. Is your car in ideal condition? It only has 60,000 miles. I get new tires on it like literally like every 2 years. I just got new snow tires on it. I should probably get a new car though. What causes excessive sweating? Night sweats. 32-year-old female with no gallbladder. It could be a bunch of different things. Aries. I would I think I do a video on hormones last week, adrenals or something in my, and I did a video on thyroid hormones. Frank, make a shirt with that car with you in it. What? So it's like a picture of a 2001 Ford Taurus, and then it's like I'm on the car, like my arm sticking out, and I have a giant head, like a blown up cartoon head, and I'm smiling. Is that the shirt? That's funny. Frank, would you mind if your girl has a lot of mileage? I say that, but if she's as pretty as me, I think we can make it work. How bad is taking the train in the Bronx? That's why I got a car, man. If you take the 4, 5, 6 train from the Bronx at like 7, 8 a.m., dude, fucking hell. Only white dude on the train. I'm gonna design that shirt with a Russian girl in the back seat. All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. We'll do another live stream on Thursday. You care about the girl, not just attractiveness? I mean, that's why I don't really have a girlfriend, because it's not just about attractiveness. I like thin girls more. But again, thank you guys for joining me. We'll do the live stream Thursday, video every day this week as usual. How long after donating blood did you notice a difference? You should notice a difference in at least a couple days. But you guys enjoy the rest of your night.